Are you a mom who is concerned that while their child actually does their schoolwork, they may not be doing it to the best of their ability? And when you discuss that with them, do you find them to be rather stubborn, full of a number of opinions, and it actually ends up turning into an argument? If that's you, stick around. Hi, my name is Fiona, and welcome to the space in which I help moms of children between 4 to 12 years old transform their child's school academic struggles into successes in order that the mom can go from a space of feeling lost and stuck to a space of confidence and clarity in her own ability to support her child to a much more successful place. So today we are going to speak about how we can best support our child with the choleric temperament to reach their full academic potential, whether it be via their homework, their study, or any projects that they may have from school. So let's first describe the choleric child, the child with the choleric temperament. This child generally tends to be very strong-willed, determined, they're self-reliant, they're quite goal-oriented, they are confident. They can sometimes be perceived as bossy and do certainly like to take charge of any situation that they find themselves in. So let us look at the strengths of the child with the choleric temperament that are already in place to enable them to do really well academically. The first thing is that these children tend to be goal-oriented. They've got strong powers of concentration when they decide to focus, and they can do very well. They like to take charge of their learning environment, of their learning. They don't necessarily leave it to others to make sure that they move forward. Apart from that, they tend to do well in school environments. They tend to do well, not so much because they are brighter than the other children. Of course, they may well be, but because they have a lot more confidence in themselves. They are also quick learners. When they learn very fast. And because of their strong will, they find it easier than other children to keep peer pressure at bay. So that helps to keep them away from negative influences. So we already mentioned that this child clearly has very strong academic potential, but for some reason they may not do as well as they are capable of. One of the reasons is that while they do get the job done, they may not do it to the best of their ability. This is sometimes this may be because they tend to value efficiency over getting the job done to the best standard of which they are capable. So for them to get every detail perfected and done in the best way that it can be done is not really something very on their radar. So for instance, they may have a book report that they're supposed to do, an English literature book review, and they will do the review. They may do the review without completing the book. And for example, at least I've had experience of this, hand in that first draft and be very comfortable with that sort of working in that way. So the other thing that makes it a bit difficult for them is they tend to be bossy. So in group situations, group work, people are choosing group mates. They may not really be looking forward to working with them. So how can we support these children with the choleric temperament to get their homework done to the best of their ability, their projects, their study, in other words, reach their full academic potential? So the first thing that it's important for us to realize is that these children value reason. They heed the voice of reason. So, for example, if they're having difficulty or not really seeing the point in doing a particular project assigned by the school well. So one can explain to them that if they do their project well, it will help them to get a good mark. It will help them to get used to and acquire the skills of doing projects well, because as they move further on in school, they will need these skills to get good marks and thereafter be able to choose a course of their liking when they get to the higher levels of education, rather than have the course chosen for them. And they like to be in control and in charge, so they don't want things chosen for them. So being able to provide them with a reason is always very helpful as to why things should be done. Just provide the reason, provide it authoritatively, and it will help reduce the number of arguments that you're having to engage with them in. They, deep down, these children actually do want to do the right thing. So that's something that's helpful. It's a way that we can do. That's something that is helpful. Another thing about them that would be helpful is to help them to make their choices. For instance, if they've received a school project that they're supposed to do, and they've got a number of options that they can choose from in terms of which option they should choose, which project they should choose from 3 projects, you may find that they may just glance at the 3 of them and pick one without giving due consideration, calculating, weighing which project should I choose, which project is going to get me the best mark. So it's important to help them to be able to develop the skills of, instead of wanting to just get the job done, remember that they like efficiency, just getting tasks done. Just help them to understand the importance of weighing things, looking at what may give them the best result before embarking on a course of action. So that's something that would be actually very helpful for them to learn. Then another point, another way forward, is that they like challenges. So if you find on a particular day they are not really feeling up to doing their study or their homework, and things are not going well, you can challenge them and say to them that, if you get this work done in a particular amount of time, or ask them, are you capable of getting this work done in a particular amount of time? They like challenges. They don't like to lose. They do not crumble under challenges. They actually tend to thrive. So you can ask them about that and reward them, whether with more screen time, when they actually get the work done. Another helpful thing that we can do as parents is to compliment these children genuinely when they do things well. They have a really deep love, I'd almost say need, for appreciation and being valued. So when they do something well, especially if it's something that it's taken them time to be good at, or it has demanded from them, it's very important that we show our appreciation and value them and what they have been able to achieve. It's a huge boost for them. Another thing is that as parents, we can model for them empathy, respect, and just general patience. When they see us modeling this, they can be able to take it on themselves. Because they tend to, sometimes in group settings, when they're with their friends, they tend to come across as bossy. So to be able to help them to observe and then take on these sort of behaviors of patience, empathy, respect, it will bode very well for their learning in group situations, and just generally how they interact with their friends and being able to get into the groups of their choice when it comes to getting school group work done. Another point is that it would be helpful for them to be able to join a sport, preferably a team sport. For one thing, they'll be able to expend the loads of energy that they have, and less of it will be spent arguing with you. But quite importantly, also, it helps them to, again, as already mentioned, better their ability to operate in a group situation. It helps them to develop that humility and probably obedience that are needed when you are engaged in a team sport. I hope you found this helpful. I have used a number of these methods with moms with children of the choleric temperament, and they've found them really helpful. And they're just some of the ways that we have used to get the children to a much better place, to a place where they actually do achieve their full academic potential. So if you're a mom who is struggling with any of this or anything related in terms of getting your child through and out of an academic struggle, please feel free to make a comment in the comments below.